Today I'd like to introduce you to a new treatment and toning system called Neutone, also known as advanced neural tuning. So I'm going to invite you to join me on the reconditioning revolution. As a healthcare professional, I'm noticing more and more that when people come to see me with their health problems, with pain, with stiffness, with malfunctioning in their body, that more and more we're seeing problems of conditioning. People are out of tune, their posture's deteriorating, their flexibility's deteriorating, their muscle conditions are deteriorating at the same time as they're developing these spinal problems and back problems and health problems. So we're going to be teaching you how to tune and to balance your central nervous system. Let's face it, of all the different systems inside of our body, the one that controls all of the others is the central nervous system. So this is the most important one to take care of. I'm going to be showing you how to activate innate spinal muscle and nerve reflexes to tone and to exercise the core of your body, the deepest muscles, the deepest nerves in your body. And we're going to be showing you how to reset central neural gateways, not only to diminish pain mechanisms, but also to activate state of well-being neurochemical pathways and to refresh stuck emotions that have become stored in your body-mind. I'm Dr. Nick Hodgson, a chiropractor, and I see Neutone as being the ultimate culmination in the development of my own treatment techniques. I completed 7 years of undergraduate university studies, studying science and then studying chiropractic, clinical sciences. I've been in practice for 26 years, but I've also always been actively involved in my own professions, training, research, development, and postgraduate professional education. But through all of this time, I've always had this almost haunting feeling that there's been some key pieces in the therapeutic puzzle still missing. In my own practice, I talk about what I call the 50-50 rule. And what I'd say to people is, look, 50% of the benefits that you can get from coming to see me is from what I do with my hands. Literally the therapeutic effect of the chiropractic adjustment and all of the other methods that are available to us in practice. The other 50% comes from what you do when you leave the office, how you look after yourself. But I've always wanted to find a way of somehow more intimately merging these two processes so that what I'm doing with my hands is very much linked with what you're doing when you're being treated, but also when you're leaving my office and leading your normal everyday life. So my vision, I guess, has been to evolve my own treatment methods to the point where I'm seeing much more consistent neurological improvements during each and every adjustment session. So, I know with my hands I can make big changes in people's range of motion, in the way that they're feeling. But I'm wanting to see bigger changes in that, wanting to see improvement in your overall health, your well-being, the way you feel about yourself, your emotions, the quality of life. I'm wanting to see those things consistently improve. But I'm also wanting to have strategies that you can take home that are simple to implement and easy to implement and are able to be fitted into your daily routine and able to continue to improve your system in between adjustments. So what is Neutone? So first and foremost, it's a range of isotonic, slow, gentle stretches. So isotonic means an even amount of tone. So what we're learning to find is a particular point in the tension of a muscle that creates quite a therapeutic response. Now these exercises, these postures, are straightforward to learn and initiate a highly therapeutic neurological phenomenon that I've stumbled across. And this phenomenon I'm calling therapeutic fasciculation. A bit of a big word, but I'll explain what I mean. So therapeutic fasciculation is pleasant trembles, tremors, twitches that develop in large groups of muscles when you develop that right degree of tone and stretch in any given muscle. So what we need to do is we need to learn how to initiate therapeutic fasciculation, but more than that, we almost need to learn how to not inhibit this response. So most of you would have experienced fasciculation just randomly, spontaneously at different points in your day, different points in your life. Perhaps you were straining to pick something up and you started to feel a little bit of vibration as you were doing it. Perhaps you were holding a postural position, leaning over to reach and stretch, and you kind of started to feel some little twitches in muscles. Perhaps if you had a strong emotional response, if you got extremely angry, extremely upset, then you literally would have felt your body starting to tremble and tremor somewhat. Even if you'd taken one of those giant breaths or a big yawn, when you literally start to feel a little bit of twitching and tremoring through your body. And the general normal response is to either change the position or to change the amount of contraction to try and switch this phenomenon off. In the context of therapeutic fasciculation, in the context of Neutone, we're going to be learning how to access this physiological, normal, benign response as a therapeutic phenomenon. So here are some key points to understand about therapeutic fasciculation. Basically, it is an innate response. It's in there. It's been inbuilt into every muscle group. It can be pleasant when you actually learn how to experience this and create this phenomenon, and to hold these positions and to literally stay there for a little while in a state of vibration. It's actually very pleasant. It's very organised. You know, every muscle at a particular point in its positioning, at a particular point in its contraction, you're able to initiate a degree of fasciculation. It's a normal physiological response. It's not abnormal. But here's what I've found in developing this new technique called Neutone, is that it produces very positive neural outcomes. So to understand how this might happen, we need to understand a little bit of basic physiology of the nervous system. And what you need to understand is this concept of pain gateways. So within your nervous system is lots of little transmission points, little gateways if you like, where information can either get through or it's blocked from travelling through. Imagine as you're walking through your day, every day of your life, there's lots and lots of sensory information being measured and analysed by all of the different receptors all over your body. Now, imagine if you were consciously perceiving each and every one of these little bits of stimulation all of the time. You would be completely overloaded. So we need gateway systems to inhibit and to keep all of the information at the right place in the right part of the nervous system, in the subconscious, as opposed to perhaps the conscious. Obviously, when we feel pain, it means that a lot of sensory stimulus is being activated and is now bombarding and reaching our conscious mind to the point that we can feel that we have a sore elbow or a sore back or a headache. Now, thanks to a theory called the gate control theory of Wall and Melzack, it's very well understood how this works in your nervous system. So things like abnormal muscle tension, abnormal organ functions, and the development of pain are now well understood scientifically. And here's the key point that you need to understand. Most of us, when we have a sore muscle, we think we have a problem with a muscle. When we have a back problem, we think we have a problem with something, structurally inside of that back. But here's the truth of the matter, is that most pain is more of a central nervous system phenomenon than a local muscular phenomenon. It's more to do with those gateways than it is to do with pulled muscles and torn ligaments. As I said, this is Malzac and Wall's gait control theory, so it explains how chronic pain can persist long beyond normal tissue injury healing times. How many of you sitting there right now have had a pain or a problem that's persisted beyond, a few days or perhaps a few short weeks? If that's your case, then you're literally talking about a scenario where something in your nervous system is not going through and your immune system is not responding in the normal way, so that there's a delay, there's a restriction in the healing process. So here's the other interesting thing. The gait control theory opened up the connection between a psychological state, emotional state, and the perception of pain and dysfunction. You've probably noticed when you have a pain during the day, if you're busy, if you're sidetracked, if you're focusing on something, you don't really notice the pain. Whereas if you're sitting silently, quietly at night time, all of a sudden you start to perceive and experience that pain to a much higher degree. And the other interesting finding from this understanding of the way the nervous system works is the realization that activating larger nerve fibers can actually inhibit and even reset these malfunctioning neural gateways. So movement, often if you have a sore point, we just naturally move things or rub things. And intuitively we're learning how to activate and to switch off those abnormal gateways that are allowing us to experience the pain and the dysfunction in our body. So another important principle that we need to understand a little bit about is the concept of a central pattern generator. What we're talking about here is biological neural networks that produce rhythmic patterned outputs. So you think of yourself sitting there right now and you're breathing at a steady rhythmic pace, and that takes these little networks inside of your body to create that rhythm, that harmony. Your heart rate is beating. It needs to go faster and slower and respond to different things inside of your body. So this requires these networks, these connections. To stand with good posture requires healthy neural networks. Every muscle needs to be connected to every other muscle so that you're standing in the right position and you're aware of what that position should be. So all throughout our nervous system is these neural networks that connect things together and make sure that they're working properly. So all normal physiological functions require a significant degree of harmony, rhythm, and frequency. Everything has a pattern to it. Everything has a harmony to it. So what we're talking about when we're talking about Neutone, when we're talking about therapeutic fasciculation, is we're talking about an evolutionary therapeutic movement protocol to bombard large numbers of central spinal gateways at the same time as we're initiating these central pattern generators. So whenever you learn how to develop therapeutic fasciculation, you're really activating, exercising, mobilizing, first of all of the neural gateways in your central nervous system, and secondly, setting off very harmonic, patterned responses in your nervous system. So here's a key point. Dysfunction and dis-ease are seen as a reflection of abnormal neural patterns and rhythm. If you have pain, it's because particular nerve fibers are vibrating at an abnormally high frequency. If you get muscle tension, it's because the nerves that are supplying those muscles are overactivated. So, and you can take that into internal functions as well, all of the different internal functions in your hormonal system, your immune system, your digestive system. They're all controlled by particular vibratory frequencies from the nervous system. And if they're not operating at the right frequency, that's when we start to get this thing called disease or malfunction. Here's the critical turning point in terms of Neutone and how this can help you. What we're basically doing is we're bombarding and overriding these abnormal frequencies that are developing in your body with stronger, more harmonic frequencies, and we do this through our therapeutic fasciculation. So it makes it a powerful therapeutic intervention. I guess an analogy I like to think of is a refresh of your computer or a defragmentation of your computer. When you're developing this therapeutic fasciculation through your body, you're learning how to restart, to reset, and to refresh all of the different pathways through your central nervous system. So if we take Neutone a step further, it's also a chiropractic technique in the sense that we can incorporate the therapeutic fasciculation and the postures and the positions that we teach you into a chiropractic adjustment. So therapeutic fasciculation can be used as a very powerful biofeedback tool during a chiropractic adjustment. And because of this, it's able to actually increase and improve your body's therapeutic response to an adjustment, hopefully resulting in bigger changes in a shorter period of time. So we know through the history of chiropractic and the science of chiropractic, there's a lot of research that demonstrate that chiropractic adjustments can improve a wide range of physiological functions, at least some of the time. And there's lists and papers and case studies and case series and evidence-based research studies that show that lots and lots of different health problems improve when people start receiving chiropractic care. But what Neutone is trying to do is to help this to become a little bit more consistent. So what's involved in a Neutone session? So the first thing is a little bit of learning. There's some postures you need to learn, some body positioning. You need to learn to experience and to perceive when you're developing therapeutic fasciculation. So you need to be able to initiate it and to accentuate it. So what you do is you're learning how to combine slow isotonic stretches in different body postures. And these can be further accentuated by incorporating some really simple and very therapeutic breathing techniques. Great way of getting rid of tension out of your body and tightness out of your body, while at the same time as you're activating muscles, helping to tone them up. Then we can use these postures and the therapeutic fasciculation in conjunction with a chiropractic adjustment to maximize and increase your body's neurological response to that adjustment. So there's a little bit of coaching required between you and your practitioner to learn how to initiate and to facilitate these responses. And the benefit is you're going to be gently exercising primary postural muscles and toning the core of your spinal system, the very deepest muscles that hold your spine up, maintain the alignment of your spine, and allow you to do daily movements and activities pain-free and with better range of motion and with better function. So this kind of adjustment is much more interactive than most chiropractic adjustments, where you just lie on the table and the chiropractor is just literally working on you and doing everything to you, and then when he's finished you get up and leave the office and hope that your body is going to respond to those changes. You're going to be more actively involved in a Neutone adjustment. So you're going to be guided to focus attention, position, tension into specific areas of your body in conjunction with each and every adjustment. And as you experience this, you're going to enjoy these pleasant trembles, and literally you'll feel tension being released from your body. And then after a session, you're going to feel invigorated, relaxed, somewhat fatigued, a little bit like you've done a little bit of a workout, similar to the high of a really good exercise session. So as I said, these strategies, you're going to learn how to integrate these into your normal daily lifestyle. You can access these at the end of the day. You can access these when you're exercising. You can access these when you've got some stress that you want to release from your body. And you can use these strategies to continue to correct and self-heal your body in between adjustments. And what you're going to find is as you work your way through the Neutone sessions, the responses become more and more complex and advanced during your sessions. It becomes more and more exciting as time goes on. So get in touch with us as soon as you can. Book yourself into one of our introductory sessions and experience the real benefits of this awesome new technique called Neutone.